Today I received the most amazing email. It was from a young lady in Oslo, Norway, a psychology student, and it contained a picture of an avocado tree she's growing from seed. She stumbled into a video we made back in February where I show the 3 techniques we at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm use to grow our avocado trees. And she buys into my message that people who plant avocado trees make the world a better place. Because avocado trees produce avocados. And when people eat avocados, they get happy. And happy people make the world a better place. And as a psychology student, that is her mission in life, right? How to help people find a way to be happy. So as part of her personal mission to make the world a better place, she planted an avocado tree. And take a look. It is just starting to throw out its first root. Since reading that email, I have been on top of the world. I've been smiling all day, and my brain keeps kind of flashing back to the picture of that little seed throwing out that first little root way the hell up there in Norway. Now, I don't know if you know where Norway is, but it is north. It's like way past Boca. The conditions in Norway are not conducive to avocado growth. They're harmful to avocados. They are dangerous to avocados. Yet this young lady is able to create an environment in which her avocado seed can thrive. And she'll be able to do that for her patients, right? The world is not a comfortable place for people with psychological issues, right? It could be dangerous. But in her chosen profession, she's going to teach people how to put themselves in a world that is conducive to their own health and safety so they'll be able to thrive. Frankly, I'm so touched by the whole thing, if I could make words rhyme, I'd write a poem right now. And I know that seed in Norway isn't the only seed that's growing and thriving. I've received pictures from hundreds of you. I've received questions and all kinds of comments, and it's been a pleasure going back and forth helping y'all grow your avocado trees. Please keep the pictures coming. Please keep me posted on your progress. And I think what I'll do today is give you a little progress update on the trees I planted that day. You'll recall I said we use 3 techniques to plant seeds here at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. The first is the fun one. You see it on the internet all the time, right? You put some toothpicks in a seed, put your seed in some water, have the roots come out and start to shoot up a tree. The second technique was to put a seed directly in soil and let it grow, just like you'd plant a tomato plant or pepper or anything else. And the third technique is one that I could use, but you probably can't, which is I go out and walk my grove, and every now and then trees start to sprout on their own. So here I have a sampling of trees that I used all 3 of those techniques to plant. Let's take a look at how each of them are doing. First, we've got the water technique. Now, these 2 were planted on the same day. And look at the difference. One is thriving, one is struggling. Fortunately, I had a lot of them come out like this, and I've already transferred them to pots, but I've been saving this guy just so we could compare its progress to the others. You'll see here it's got a very well-developed root system. And it's actually putting up 2 sort of main stalks. I'm going to prune this one off of there and just grow this one when I finally plant it into a pot. And it's about, I'd say it's about 12 inches tall. Now this guy here, he didn't do as good as his brothers and sisters. You see, he's got the beginnings of a little tree with a couple of leaves, but he really did not develop a root system. He's just got these 2 kind of roots coming out the bottom. So I'm going to get this guy in soil and see if maybe I could nurse him back to life, but he ain't doing so good. Now let's check out one we grew directly in soil. So this guy here we planted directly in the dirt. We just left maybe the top quarter of the seed showing, and as you can see here, a beautiful healthy tree shot out the top. It's got beautiful leaves, nice color. It continues to put out new growth. And I'm not going to dig it up, but you can see here if you look at the bottom of the pot, it's already got seeds coming out the side. So this thing has a very well-developed root system, and in fact, he's ready to be put into the next size pot. Now let's look at one that was growing wild in the grove. You see, it's about the same size. This is about the same age as the one I planted directly in seed. But the first thing that jumps out right away, and this is true for all my trees that I pick out of the grove, they don't really have a lot of branches or leaf activity until you get maybe to the upper 25% of the plant. And I don't know why that is. I'm not like a botanist or nothing, but my guess is it's because when these things fall on the ground, there's a lot of mulch and there's a lot of other stuff, and they kind of have to grow up before they can start growing out. This guy I put right into the pot with like the fruit and everything. So I just put like a big old mangled up avocado, seed side up, covered it with dirt, and we've been able to get this kind of growth out of them. At a glance, it's very obvious that the trees planted in soil did better than the ones planted in water, and that makes a lot of sense, right? There's more nutrition in the soil, and there's more space for roots to spread out so that they can uptake that nutrition and grow really big. The other difference you could see is the three in the middle here are the ones I planted the seeds directly in the pots themselves, and they are much fuller, right? They've got a lot more growth right down at the surface of the seed, where the ones I take out of the grove tend to have a long shoot with their leaf growth on top. Now let me show you an example of a seed that didn't make it. I put this guy in the soil the same day I did these others, and for whatever reason, he didn't make it. So let's dig the seed out. You see here there's a seed, and there was a root shot down into the ground. Let's dig that out. So he had some roots thrown down into the ground, but for whatever reason, when the shoot just started to come out, everything died and this guy didn't make it. But this is just part of the game. Not everything makes it. Which is why I tell people, if you want to have 2 trees, plant 8. If you want to have 3 trees, plant 9. Some are going to make it, some aren't. Some will thrive, some will struggle. You could pick the 2 or 3 best ones, and they're the ones that you grow to adulthood, you grow to maturity. So if you've been following along since February, and I know a lot of you have, your tree should be somewhere between this and this. If you haven't at least gotten a little bit of a shoot, I could say it's probably too late and we'll try again next year. If on the other side of the spectrum you have a thriving, healthy tree, this guy here is maybe 2 feet, maybe a little more, and what about, I'd say 8 inches across, you now have a choice to make. If you want to graft this tree, if you want to take budwood from another healthy tree somewhere, if there's a grove nearby, or you have access to budwood and you want to try grafting it, then leave it in this 3-gallon pot until you graft it. You want a trunk with about that much diameter. You don't want to grow a super huge tree for grafting. You keep it nice and small. If, on the other hand, you don't want to graft and your plan is to just keep growing these things from seed, then you're probably at a point where it's time to put this into a new pot. So I would suggest going up to a 7-gallon or a 15-gallon. Dig yourself a hole the width of this. Take a razor blade, cut your pot open because you don't want to damage the root system that's in there. Cut your pot open, rip it up, and just stick all the soil right into the new pot. Give it some fertilizer, some 666, hit it with water the way you've been watering that, and we'll keep growing this sucker. Now, if your tree is somewhere along that timeline and you're a little bit confused, don't hesitate to reach out. Send me a question, send me your comments, keep them pics coming. I love the interaction. And if you need a little break from making the world a better place, go out to guacfarm.com. guacfarm.com, guacfarm.com. That's where we sell our t-shirts, we got some stickers, we got some other guacamole related stuff out there. And while you're doing that, I'm going to get back to making the world a better place, and I will see you on the next video.